Okay, I'm really excited about this lesson. The reason I love this lesson is because it's one that at the beginning, my students think, oh man, this is going to be so hard. And by the end, they're like, that was easy. What we're going to do is we're going to be writing equations. Now, equations are really pretty simple to write as long as you're not scared of them. Okay, so here's some rules for it. Number one, just write down what it says. Read what the sentence says and write down what it's telling you to do. Couple tricks along the way. If you see the word then, you're going to have to flip it. And if you see the word is, that means equals. Okay, so let's try some of these. Number one, I'm going to just write down what it says. So I'm going to read it. 4 times the number x minus 8 equals 60. So 4 just means 4. Times means times. A number x just means x. Minus means minus, 8 means 8, equals means equals, and 60 means 60. Done. That was easy. Now you're probably saying, but Mr. Holsapple, this is going to get harder, and it will. Let's do number 2. 1/2 of the difference of 9 and c is 27. So let's just write down what it says. 1/2 of the difference. Difference means subtract. So we're going to take 1/2 times the difference. Difference of what? Well, it says 9 and c. That's what the difference is. Is means equals, and then we've got 27. Okay, now this is one of those tricky spots where there's actually some parentheses hiding in here. And the thing is about parentheses, it's never going to come out and say write parentheses. It's just kind of one of those things where you have to see it and feel it and understand where they go. So 1/2 of the difference. So that means we have to take 1/2 of the difference, 1/2 of something. 1/2 of something means we're going to multiply this. Now, maybe you're going to understand this, maybe you won't, but here's what makes sense to me. I see 1/2 times a difference, so times subtract. 1/2 of means times, subtract, difference means subtract. So I see, right next to each other, I see a times and a subtract, okay? A times and a subtract. So anytime you have two of those words right next to each other that are telling you what to do, like multiply, subtract, add, divide, anytime you have two of those that are right next to each other, you need to put parentheses in there, okay? So this is 1/2 of the difference, so 1/2 times the difference of 9 and c, okay? Like I said, parentheses are tricky. Hopefully we'll get a couple more and kind of see where they can go. All right, number 3. 6 times the sum of f and 4 is 32. So let's just write this. 6 times the sum means plus. Well, what are we adding? Well, it says the sum of f and 4 is means equals, and 32. Okay. Now let's go back and look at this again. See how times and plus are right next to each other? So we have times and we have plus. Remember what that means. Anytime we have two of those words right next to each other, we got to be thinking maybe there's a parentheses in there. And in this case, there is. If I just leave it exactly like it is, the only thing we're multiplying is the 6 times the f, but that's not what we want. We want 6 times the whole sum of f plus 4. So times the sum, we need parentheses around that sum. So 6 parenthesis f plus 4 equals 32. Number 4, the area A of a circle. Okay, so is the product of pi and the radius r squared. Okay, so this is going to get a little bit more tricky, but let's see if we can get rid of some words, okay? Like for example, A, that's a variable, that's going to be important, right? So what does A mean? A means the area of a circle, right? That's what it says, the area A of a circle. So I don't need to write any of this stuff down twice. That's just redundant, okay? Redundant means doing the same thing more than once when it's not needed. So I don't need to write down A more than once. So A is the area of a circle. So I'm just going to cross out area of a circle, and that's just A. Let's see if we can find any more of those redundancies in here. I see another variable in there. What does r mean? Well, it tells us, the problem tells us that r is the radius. So I'm going to just cross off the radius because that's r. So instead of saying the radius, we just say r. Let's look at this now. What do we have? We have A, so let's just write this down. A is means equals. Product means multiply. So what are we going to multiply? Well, it says first thing is pi and r squared. So the two things we're multiplying is pi and r squared. So we saw, let's go back to where we were. Let's work this problem back from the start. We find some redundancies. A just means the area of a circle. So I'm going to cross off area of a circle. R just means radius. And now we're just writing down what it says. A is means equals. Product means multiply. And the two things we're multiplying is pi and r squared. So we're good. All right, no sweat. All right, now number 5. Number 5 has something spectacular in it that is going to make writing equations so much easier. Like there's a word in there. There's a special word that every time you see this word in a problem, you should like cheer like, yes, that makes it so much easier. It's telling me what to do. Okay, so here's the word. I'll get to it in a second. The cost of renting a car is $60 per day and 50 cents per mile. Now, the word that's awesome in there is the word per, because per means multiply. Okay? There's actually two other words that kind of mean the same thing, just like per, each and every. So if you see for each or for every or per, it's going to mean multiply. So let's just read this and let's clean this up knowing that multiply means, or per means multiply. So I see $60 per day, so that means $60 times, maybe I should just use a dot. That's easier to see so you know it's not an X. $60 times day and 50 cents per mile. Per means times mile, okay? Now, let's go up here and let's just start reading. The cost of renting a car. I don't want to write all of that in an equation. Let's just come up with a variable for that. Let's use one letter. So the cost of renting a car, do you want to say C for cost? So the cost of renting a car is means equals $60 times what? Here's the beauty of per, each, and every. Most of the time it's the very next letter you see. So $60 per day, so I'm just going to say D. So 60D and 50 cents per mile. 0.50 per means times, and for mile I'm just going to use M. So $60 per day plus 50 cents per mile. Now something still doesn't look quite right. Right there, I feel like I need something there. So this is $60 a day, and then we also have to pay 50 cents per mile. So what would go in there? Yeah, you've got it. This is a plus, right? We have to take what we pay per day plus the cost per mile, and we have our equation. So there's our equation. C equals, the cost equals $60 times the number of days plus 50 cents times the number of miles. Okay, so this lesson, again, is not hard. Write down what it says, and remember, than means to flip it, is means equals, and per, each, or every mean multiply. And the parentheses are hard, but if you see two of those like signs together, plus, divide, subtract, times, you need to put some parentheses around those. Okay? All right. I know you can do this. Good luck.